Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our Thursday night trainings. So tonight I'm so epically excited to share this with you. This is something that over the past year I've become extremely passionate about. And the topic tonight is about the quickest way to transform your mindset / habits, which are really kind of the same thing. Your habits, your subconscious habits are really what your mindset is dictated by, and get it to stick long term. Because I've found in my many years of coaching people that getting results is cool, but if they don't stick, that's a huge problem, right? And many of you might be here because you've gotten results in something and they haven't stuck, or you're feeling at a loss and you don't know what to do or where to go. So I'm so happy to have you here, and I can't wait to share this with you. So let's dive right in. So you may notice, I'm going to make this big, ready? So you may notice that in this picture here, we have the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And today we're going to really talk about the subconscious mind, because that is the quickest way to getting the results that you want and making them stick long term. So let's dive right in. Now, if you are here watching this, then you're probably here because you've tried so many different programs and nothing has worked, right? You're like, I've tried all of these diets, I've tried all these exercise programs, I've tried all these business programs, I've tried all of these things, whatever it is, whatever you've been trying to accomplish, and you're like, it's not working. I feel you, I know where you're at, and don't worry, we got you. You may have tried to change your current habits, but it doesn't stick, right? You get results, but you go back to where you came from. You might feel frustrated, hopeless, stressed, angry even, and feel that nothing will ever change. And you're really living in this dark circumstance that you're in right now. And I want you to know, I know exactly how that feels, being a person that has dealt with depression and anxiety in their own life. I know how dark it can get, especially when I had my gut health issues. It really affected my mindset, and it really affected the way that I approached life. And it got really dark for a while there. And I'm just so blessed and grateful for what I'm going to share with you tonight and what I found. And you might even beat yourself up and think something is wrong with you. Now, I want you to understand, nothing is wrong with you. You are not broken. And this is something that we're going to show you tonight is a way that can help you get really what you want. So first things first, I want you to know that you are not alone. You are 100% not alone. I am on this planet to support people just like yourself. There's nothing more that drives me, other than my kids and my wife, than serving people like yourself to get a result. And like I said before, I want you to always remember, it's not your fault. Your subconscious mind is very different than your conscious mind. And a lot of times we try to out willpower stuff. We try to outthink our changes, and it doesn't work like that. You're run by your subconscious habits, and therefore they're already pre-programmed, and it's not your fault that they're running. And we're going to show you how to change them. And we're going to show you the quickest way that I've found to change them tonight. So I want you to know we are here for you. Me and my entire team are here for you to help support you in your journey to transform whatever you want to in your entire life. So I want to just share my story really quickly with you. So two parts of my story. First, I want you to know where I'm coming from. So I consider myself a recovering perfectionist, an overachiever, and a program jumper that almost destroyed his entire life in the process. So my story from the beginning was I had a massive amount of learning disabilities when I was a kid, and it created a pretty dark self-concept and self-esteem that I was dumb and I wasn't smart, and no one, and I had these stories that everybody thought I was dumb and not smart and all of those things, and I was always self-conscious about being in resource room and just being pulled out of class, and I wanted to be like everybody else. And I went the wrong way with things, and I did get into drugs and alcohol, and it was very unhelpful. And I got into a car accident, and it really pushed me in the direction of becoming what I call an overachiever, because I was like, you know what, God gave me a second chance, and now I need to prove that I'm enough to deserve this second chance. So I became one of those people that was trying to achieve. Okay, I was trying to achieve, trying to be enough, because I thought if I could become more, right? Get into college, graduate from college, get all my certifications, get my master's, open a fitness facility, all of these things, then I was going to be enough when I did those things. And I'm here to tell you personally, from personal experience, you are enough right now, and you don't need to do anything to be more enough. There is no way to become more enough. And I know this because I was chasing it all of my life, and I was jumping from program to program, certification to certification. I mean, it's endless. If you ask the people on my team, like, it's crazy how much money I invested in all of these things trying to be enough. And I almost lost my wife and my son at the time, and my entire identity and lifestyle. My health massively deteriorated because I was burning candles at all ends, trying to be enough. And it caught up to me when I was about 30, between 30 and 33 years old. And it really started to get very difficult for me. And things fell apart health-wise, lifestyle-wise, all of these things. And I was still trying to build my business and be enough. And the same thing I started to notice was showing up in my members' lives as well. So I was running a very successful fitness facility in a local town near mine, and it was great, and we were doing really well business-wise. And with all of that being said, I found that I had so many members that would come to my fitness facility and really just work their butts off, but wouldn't get the results they want, or they would get results, but they wouldn't sustain them. So it made me start to learn. I'm like one of those people, I have to figure it out. Like, I had to figure out, why does this happen? Why do they, get these results or don't get these results, and why don't they stick, more importantly? So I started to be like, okay, well, if it's not the fitness stuff, then I need to learn everything I could ever know about nutrition. So that's where I dug into, especially when I had my gut health issues. I started to learn. I spent about 40,000 hours learning so much about gastrointestinal health and nutrition and how it all intertwined. And I started to realize that was a big piece of the puzzle. The gut-brain connection. It started to really help your mind and your body. So those two, once I put them together, the results started to improve for my members massively. Okay, they started to improve much, much more. But yet there was still a good percentage of people that there weren't shifts happening and there weren't changes happening. And I was like, why? And I started to delve into mindset, right? Mindset coaching and how, if you change your mindset, you'll change your life. That was my thought process. I was like, this makes total sense. Everything that we do or don't do is all based in our mind. And I was hanging out for a good 5 years in like surface level mindset stuff, thinking that I could willpower it, motivate it. And I kept coming up with blanks, not only in my own personal life, but in my members' lives too. They would still be gritting through trying to get results and either not getting exactly what they wanted or not fully sustaining it, right? Now, just so you know, a lot of the people that did work with me had amazing transformations. I just tended to focus on where the outliers were and where it was like, why aren't certain people getting the results that they need to get? So that is when this past year I started to stumble across the idea of the two different minds, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And I started to realize how impactful the subconscious mind was on the dictation of our entire lives in general. And you need to understand that your identity and your habits in your subconscious mind have been programmed your whole life by, number one, yourself. So anytime you had experiences and you put meanings and feelings to those experiences, it created a program that you run in your head that creates your identity and how you show up each and every day. You were also impacted and programmed by your parents and family, your friends, your teachers, your coaches, the media, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you've been constantly programmed in your values, your beliefs, your standards, all of these things that dictate the outcome. It's basically your paradigm. So it's like if you were wearing a pair of glasses, they're the glasses that that are your basic programming of how you see the world. So right now, if you're listening to this and you're seeing the world in a very dark way, right? You're feeling awful all the time. You have really dark thoughts and you're feeling depressed and you're anxious or whatever, however you're feeling. I want you to know that at this point, it's just the programming that's running and it can be reprogrammed. And that's what I'm here tonight to give you hope so that you know that there are possibilities to get you out of the funk and the stuckness that you're in. So here's the breakdown of exactly how things go for people. So this will help you really see how it all comes together in the mind. So basically, like I said, your identity is all based off of your perception, right? The way that you see the world. And then how you see the world is the way that you interpret the things that you see. Okay. And that ultimately creates and is the basis and the foundation of your beliefs, your values, and your standards that you live by. Okay. So you see things, you interpret them. All day we're perceiving and we're interpreting, perceiving and interpreting. And then that's ultimately feeding our beliefs, values, and standards. And it really creates our subconscious habits, what we do every day. Think about it. When you wake up in the morning, you don't decide to be like, oh, I'm going to run that negative self-talk habit. I'm going to run that eating junk food habit. I'm going to run I'm not going to build my business tonight because I'd rather procrastinate. I'm going to run the procrastination habit. You don't do that. Your mind just runs your subconscious habits for you, and you just are living in it, right? So that ultimately, right, this piece of you controls your thoughts, aka your stories, and your feelings. So of course, if your beliefs, values, and standards and your perception of the world and your interpretations of things are negative, then your stories are going to be very negative and you're going to feel very negative. You're going to feel not great at all. And it's going to create these habit alarms, right? So you have your subconscious habits, they're going to create your habit alarms, which are those urges to get away from that pain, right? So you may move towards junk food to get away from pain. You may move towards, it's mostly instant gratification activities, right? So when your stories are like, hey, you feel like junk today, wouldn't it? And then it influences your actions and your commitments, right? And it basically is the doing of the habit. So it's like, hey, you feel like crap today. You're really down. You really don't feel well, and you ultimately it leads you to kind of like constrict, and you stay in and you watch TV and you eat junk food and maybe you don't exercise and you just start to go into these patterns of constriction where if you had a different habit like connected. A lot of times people that feel really anxious or depressed, they feel very disconnected from others, right? Because they don't feel like other people know how they feel. And therefore they don't really want to go around being around other people. And that's one of the best things that they can do, because then, especially if you're going and trying to be of services of others, it starts to give you kind of a purpose in your actions and your commitments. And then you do the habit. But let's say you just are constricted, right? And then that ultimately dictates your results, right? And you're like, I'm not getting anywhere. It's only getting darker. I feel horrible. I don't know what to do. And it's feeding back and supporting that identity that I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't know what to do. I don't have the knowledge. I've tried all these programs and nothing's working. And it just creates this cycle over and over and over again. And there's nothing we can do except change the way that we're being. And once we change the way we're being through our subconscious identity and habits, then we're going to do different things and we're going to have different results. And it starts with the way that we're being internally. Most people, which this was my story for years, I was a doer. I was like, if I invest all of this money and I do, and I work till my eyeballs bleed, I will be successful. I will have what I want. And then I will be successful. So I was do, have, be. And I almost died trying to do it. I know a lot of people try to, they come from the, I need to have more money. I need to have more time. I need to have more friends. I need to have more accountability people. I need to have more, more things in order to do the things that I need to do to be happy and successful and feel like I'm enough. And when you go from the have, do, be, you get massively stuck. And it's like almost impossible to break through it, because when you don't feel like you have those things, then of course you never do those things. So then you'll never be what you want to be. So it has to come from the be, do, have standpoint. And that's where I discovered the fastest way to transform your subconscious identity and habits. This year, I'd been following a person for many years, and she started teaching me so much about how to really shift your subconscious identity and habits. And then I started to stumble across more teachers that really understood this paradigm shift. And the fastest way from point A to point B is not a winged cheetah. I just thought that was funny. And it really hit me this year when I started studying under Marissa Peer, that rapid transformation therapy, which is what I got trained in this year, can massively shift your subconscious identity and habits very quickly, aka the rapid in the name. It really is rapid. And it allowed my members alone to 10x their results. And I was like, wow, this is what I've been looking for this entire time, so that I can really ensure people get results and keep them. Because I was really good at getting people results, but I wasn't, I worried and I always feared that they wouldn't keep them, right? Because I had seen it time and time again. Because people always go back to their old identities and their old habits, because that's just what their pattern is. So we needed to go in from a subconscious level through rapid transformation therapy to actually make those shifts. So let's talk about it. What is rapid transformation therapy? So first, like I said, it's a leading edge, multi-award winning hybrid therapy developed by the highly acclaimed author, hypnotherapist, and psychologist and motivational speaker, Marissa Peer. Now, the first time I came across Marissa Peer, she was, I watched a TED Talk of hers, and it was about being enough. And it was called You Are Enough. And I remember watching it on the way to my fitness facility, and I was like crying because it was like hitting me really hard. And I got to my fitness facility, and I like erased all the boards, and I wrote like "You Are Enough" on the boards, and like people came in and were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, I just want people to understand, like, because I had never been told that personally by anybody, and it really made a huge difference to me. And now it's the number one thing I tell my members to do. I say, go to your mirror in your bathroom and either write in lipstick or a washable marker, you are enough. Write that on your mirror, right? Or I am enough. So you want to read it like you're talking to yourself. And we bought a stencil at Etsy in our bathroom that says I am enough. So that not only do I hear it and read it and see it every day, but my wife and my kids do as well. And rapid transformation therapy is super powerful. And this is what really like drove me to it. It's a combination of the most beneficial principles of hypnotherapy, regression, neuro-linguistic programming, psychotherapy, and cognitive behavioral therapies to help you make permanent life-altering improvements. I was like, if you put all of these together, I mean, what a change that's going to have on a person, right? To make these improvements and make them stick. And the hypnotherapy piece has been the most fascinating piece to me, hands down. I've learned so much about hypnotherapy, becoming a hypnotherapist over the past year. And really, what I think I love about RTG is it's used as the vehicle because of its ability to allow access to the subconscious, right? The part I was just sharing with you, or part of your mind that holds the information and keys to your freedom. Most people are trying to surface level logic and willpower their change when they can't, because the keys and the information they need is in the subconscious. So the direct access allows us unparalleled insight into the deep emotions and behavioral drivers, navigating around the need for endless conversation and countless storytelling sessions, right? I'm a product of, talk therapy. Like, I did it for many years in high school. I did it when I was in college. I did it when I got out of college. And, it helps in the short term, but I found a lot of times it was like poking a wound, but not actually like changing things. There was no action steps. There was no, it was the same as all the other modalities that I was doing. And I was like, it's not sticking. What is it? So that's what drew me to this. And that's what changed everything. So here's some examples of things that it can help people with. And personally, I've helped people with anger problems. I've helped people with anxiety, chronic pain, depression, fertility, gut health issues on a massive level. Like, gut issues for me is very personal, just because I deal with it as a lot as well. I've helped people with insomnia, migraines, pain, physical problems, skin conditions, sleep issues, definitely stress, definitely weight control. So there's so many ways you can help people with a health standpoint, but also quality of life. It can be used for better grades, enhanced sports ability, healthy lifestyle improvements, improved relaxation, increased concentration, increased confidence, reduce stress level relationships, all of these things. We could reduce exam nerves for kids. It's so cool. Or adults that are taking exams. It can be helped with addiction. So I've used it personally to help people with alcoholism and sugar addiction and smoking and gambling and things like that. But it can also be used for excessive exercising, excessive shopping, excessive working, prescription drugs, sex addiction, all of these things, as well as phobias, right? If people have phobias of different things like animals, flying, giving birth, heights, public speaking, we can have massive shifts from a phobia standpoint just by using rapid transformation therapy. So let's talk about the safety and efficacy of hypnotherapy, because a lot of people, they don't know enough about hypnotherapy, and it has this kind of a stigma, right? When you think of hypnosis, you probably think of stage hypnosis, right? Where people are making other people bark like a dog or, crow like a rooster or something like that. And that's not what this is at all. Like, it's really a proven thing. And I want you to go out and do your own research, right? Here's just some examples of things I came across. Irving Kirsch, a lecturer and director at the Harvard Medical School, says hypnosis is a well-studied and legitimate form of adjunct treatment for conditions ranging from obesity and pain after surgery to anxiety and stress. So those are just things that have been well studied. It's proven. The American Psychiatric Association endorsed hypnosis as a therapy in 1961. Studies have found hypnosis to be helpful in alleviating physical pain, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, eating disorders, as well as other mental health disorders. Hypnosis was more effective in reducing anxiety when combined with other psychological interventions than when used as a standalone treatment. And this was out of the International Journal of Clinical and Experimental Hypnosis, talking about the efficacy of hypnosis as a treatment for anxiety. And it was a meta-analysis, which is a study that is a lot of different studies that they're looking at, which is a really good thing. And apart from aiding in weight loss, there is substantial research evidence that hypnosis can effectively reduce physical pain, says Len Milling, a clinical psychologist and professor of psychology at the University of Hartford. And Dr. Spiegel, a hypnosis expert and professor of psychiatric and behavioral sciences at Stanford University School of Medicine, says hypnosis can also be very useful and very helpful in treating stress, anxiety, PTSD, and research has found hypnosis can even alter a person's immune function in ways that offset stress and reduce susceptibility to viral infections. So I personally have used RTT on myself, to help to solve my gut health issues. I mean, it's insane how much it's improved my immune function and allowed my body to take care of itself in a much more functional way. So let's break down an average session flow. So an average session of RTT is between 90 minutes to 2 hours. It really depends on, the amount of time. So at this point in my rapid transformation therapy career, I've done about upwards of 80. I'm almost at 80 sessions, and I found they really vary between 90 minutes. I've had some that go to like 2.5 hours, but it's very rare. Majority of the time, it's 90 minutes to 2 hours. And the flow works like this. So first we get into induction, where we put the person into hypnosis. All right, we induce them into hypnosis. And then we do some deepeners to get them deeper into hypnosis. And then we go back to, and we use regressions to ultimately see, they do not relive these scenes. They just are, it's kind of like they watch past scenes in their life on a movie screen. And I'm there with them, just asking them questions about these scenes, so that it's more of like I'm a detective to kind of help them figure out what the meanings and feelings are that they connected to these scenes in their regression scenes. We go back to a couple scenes just to make sure we get a broad view and broad perspective of it. And then we do any of the breakthrough techniques. There's many different ones that I use with people. Plus, we reframe what had happened, so it shifts the subconscious beliefs and identity and the subconscious habits that people are typically doing, because we're accessing it like straight up through their subconscious mind. And then we create the transfer. We go into, once we've reframed it and we've had all these breakthroughs, then we go into the transformational recording, where we make the recording individualized for the person and what they're trying to accomplish. And they get this recording, and you can listen to the recording for the next 21 to 30 days to make sure it sticks. And it's so cool because you can put it on and fall asleep if you want. And it really does an amazing thing to work with your subconscious mind to start working for you instead of against you, right? So many people ask, when will I start to see changes? When do the results start coming, right? Well, it's different. There's 3 types of change from RTT. Every person is different. I will say it takes between 1 to 3 sessions. Most of the time, I've been able to solve people's problems in 1 session. I've, at this point in time, out of 80 sessions, I've only ever needed 2 sessions per issue to solve the problem, underlying problem. But when it comes to speed of it, I've had people that immediately, they feel massive shifts right away, immediate changes in their psychology, thoughts, and behaviors right in the session. I mean, they let me know the next day, they're like, everything's different. Not always the case, but it's very cool when it happens. Now, there's also incremental, right? Over those, next 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks, right? You might start to see shifts every day or over time. And then there's some people, they need to keep listening into it and they need to keep doing it. And retroactively, you don't see the shifts right away. And then one day you suddenly look back and you see that like things are just totally different. You're like, how did it get that way, right? And some people, when it's retroactive like that, they're like, oh, it wasn't the RTT. But they were listening and they were doing what they needed to do, and it made the shift, right? And that's how powerful the subconscious mind is, and that's how quickly it can work. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer. But I mean, in 30 days to have a change, that's pretty great. So these are frequently asked questions I get to round out this little presentation. So the first one is, will I be in control under hypnosis? Absolutely. You are in 100% control. I cannot make you do anything that you don't want to do. So like, you've never seen a news story of somebody that was under hypnosis robbing a bank, right? Most people have that crazy myth belief because of movies, like fictional movies that were shot, that make people think that, oh, when you're under hypnosis, you're under control. That's not how it works. The second frequently asked question is, can I get stuck in hypnosis? No. Like, I get knocked out of hypnosis all the time. Like the other night, I was doing some meditation and I was doing my hypnosis on myself, and my 2-year-old came up and booped me on my nose, and it woke me right up out of hypnosis. So you can't get stuck in it. I mean, you've never heard of anybody that had to go to the hospital because they were stuck in hypnosis. So it's not a thing. Can you do this via Zoom? To date, I've only ever done it via Zoom. I have never done an in-person. Actually, that's not true. I've done it with my own family members in person. But other than that, it's all via Zoom, which I think is amazing because I can help anybody in any part of the world, which is super cool. How do you feel during RTT? I have people tell me all the time they don't feel hypnotized. That's what they say. I don't feel hypnotized, but they say many of them, they're like, this is the calmest I've felt in many, many years. So it's just really a calming, relaxing place to be. What if I go back to a painful or scary scene? Like I said, you're not reliving these things. You're simply looking at it like it's on a TV screen. And, you may have an emotional reaction to it. That's true. And what happens is when we can address it and we can face it up front, then and only then are we able to actually reframe it and use breakthrough strategies to help you get past it and create new beliefs, new identity, and new habits. Okay. Can I listen to this recording when I am asleep? Absolutely. I do it all the time. I always put my earbuds in and fall asleep at night. It's fantastic. I do listen to it when I'm awake, but it's definitely possible to do it asleep. And I answered the session of how many sessions will I need? So it's, between 1 and 3. Like I said, I personally have never had more than 2 on one particular thing, but, I'm sure I will in the future. Last thing I need you to know is that we are here for you. So me and all of my staff at the Potential You, we're here for you to make sure that you are not alone, and that there is hope and there's something out there that can work for you. And it can be a solution that might be the right solution for you. And I hope today's presentation really helped you to understand it more, because when you understand it and know that it is a very powerful option for you to get shifts and make changes in your life, that's when you step into that power of being like, you know what? I do have the ability to make these changes, right? I can do it. And we're here to help. So if you feel like this is something that you would like to experience, or you feel like, this sounds like exactly what I need, I will post a link below and you can set up your session. You can set up your session and schedule it, and you get to pick your time. And then also you're going to go through some just intake questions just based on like what you want out of the session. Because anytime you approach the session, you want to have like an idea of what you're going to do it around. A lot of people will come and they'll try to do it around a couple things. They're like, I want to lose weight, I want to be happier, I want to be healthier, I want to make more money. We can't do them all at once. We got to pick one thing, like the biggest desire or thing that you're trying to shift right now, and work on that first. And then we can peel back more of the onion as we go in multiple different sessions, right? So one session per issue or challenge that you're struggling with. So I really, really, really look forward to helping you. I look forward to hearing from you. And, if you sign up for a session and you just need to, we always chat before we go through the sessions, just so a person, there's some coaching that's involved in it in the first 20 to 30 minutes. We do some upfront coaching just to make sure that you understand logically where the problem is stemming from as well. So it's coaching meets all of those modalities, meets just a true way to, and what I have found, like I've showed you in this presentation, this is the quickest way that I've found to help people make massive transformational shifts and make them stick, which is the ultimate key. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I really look forward to helping you show up, take action, and get more results in your life. So have a great evening, and we'll talk to you soon.